Act 2 Start of UA, Chapter 9. Don't forget to leave a vote/like on the chapter. It keeps me motivated. Narrator: UA High's entrance exam consists of a written test and a practical test, with the latter being the more important of the two. Following the written test, all examinees arrive at UA High for the practical. Inside the auditorium, Principal Nizu explains the rules of the exam. The students must score points by destroying villain bots with various point values. During the practical exam, candidates conduct mock battles in replica urban settings. Examinees are given 10 minutes to use their quirks to immobilize robotic villains in order to score points, depending on the individual robot's point value. The more points one examinee earns, the higher their chance is to get accepted into UA High. The examinees have limited time and must cover a vast area without knowing how many villain bots there are or where they're located. According to Principal Nizu, some examinees use information gathering abilities to plan their strategies. Others rely on speed to pull ahead of their peers, and staying calm under pressure can be a huge advantage, as can raw strength and combat ability. However, the most successful applicants who rack up the highest scores are the ones who use a combination of all these tactics. Candidates are not allowed to fight other candidates. Doing so results in disqualification. Students hailing from the same middle school are placed in different testing areas to avoid potential cooperation. Other than scoring villain points, judges monitoring the exam reward rescue points for heroic acts. This criterion is not shared with the students ahead of time. They only learn about it when they receive the exam results a week later, so any heroic acts they carry out are motivated only by genuine selflessness. Each defeated villain bot is worth a certain number of points, which are assigned to the bots according to their difficulty level. 1 point. Easy villains 2 points. Medium villains 3 points. Hard villains 0 points. Arena traps. Arena traps are massive villain bots scattered through the city replicas in order to trap and weed out people from getting high scores. They're not meant to be fought, which is why they're worth no points. After the explanation, students are separated into their designated battle center for the practical test. A number of participants are noticed as being nervous, fearful, excited, or hysterical to the impending challenges ahead. But amongst them, Rumi Usajiyama, Yu Takayama, and Kaina Tsutsumi are not one of the ones expressing signs of intimidation or weakness. The idea that they could fail wasn't on the table, nor settling on their minds. They're packed on the last day of school fresh in their minds, as they prepare for battle in their individual battle blocks. The exam begins without warning. Across the board, every participant, even Rumi and Yu, express a moment of hesitation and a moment of confusion. But having fought a villain before, the year prior, Kaido had unintentionally learned a lesson that he wouldn't have until later in the hero courses. Not to hesitate, and is first amongst any to charge into the mock cities before anyone else. For the next 6 minutes, participants across the many mock city blocks fight the battle bots, racking up as many points as they can, using their quirks however they see fit. In this setting, Rumi's quirk truly shined, as she's able to finally show off the true versatility of her rabbit quirk towards both her speed, acrobatics, and leg strength, pulling ahead of the scoreboard swiftly, almost effortlessly. And in this environment, Yu's gigantification quirk really sprung free. The openness of 4-lane roads of a mock city, without civilians to hurt, and no need to worry about property damage, allowed her to let loose, and like Rumi, was easily rifling up the charts. Her quirk's versatility in this environment shows, as she uses her quirk not only to destroy robots in bulk with ease, but also in a scouting role. Able to see over buildings helps her to locate more robots faster than those who couldn't see over them. And as for Kaina Tsutsumi point of view, landing in a tuck and roll, leaping up into a sprint across the rooftop, right arm extended down to the right of me, gun barrel peeking over the edge of the building, firing shot after shot, curving every bullet that escaped, piercing robot after robot through what I found to be main memory banks, the aftermath of which shuts them down, destroying them. Up to my left, a woman knocked out of the sky, some kind of flight quirk, by a 3-point robot diving from an elevated rooftop on the other street. I don't even see the event, just catching it in the corner of my vision. I stomp a foot ahead, changing direction with a skid. Side first crashing in a slide atop the rooftop. A girl with flaming green hair comes to rest. Robot landing, charging robotic arms ahead of it. Behind me, a 2-point robot from down below uses rockets to jump off the street up after me, chasing me, arriving as the robot did, just as she's scrambling off her sides. No bullets in my gun. I arrive shoulder, checking the robot as I twist to do so, noticing the 2-point robot coming in after me from behind. The 3-point robot collapses over the edge of the roof, getting destroyed in the fall. I swiftly stomp a foot down. A subtle bit of dust on the rooftop kicks up around my ankles as I spun atop a foot, reaching up twisting epoxy hair for a bullet. I gulp, eyes widening as I realize I can't in time. Retracting my rifle arm, I ditch the bullet in the air, letting it fall. I complete a spin back to the robot. I bring my right arm behind me, high. Spring load, extending my rifle out my arm, crashing straight into the eye sensors of the robot, shattering them, denting the robot's face. I just as quickly retract my gun, the hinges slamming closed as I begin to duck low, extending a leg out, tripping the robot off the roof. It breaks and destroys in the fall like the other. I catch the bullet before it hits the ground, swiftly extend my gun, and loading into my right palm. Then begin preparing more bullets in rapid concession, glancing in her direction as I spoke with a casual, nonchalant tone, despite the intense situation at hand. "You all right?" "You took a gnarly hit climbing off the ground," she spoke, creating material made of flames from her hair. "I'm fine, thanks for the assist. I owe you one," she spoke, sprinting across the roof, jumping off the edge, and somehow flying through the air, back where she'd came. I stand up, look back over the edge. 2 1-point robots using rockets jump up to attack me. I raise my arm and click, click. "Jump?" My mom's words to me when I was just a little boy echo as I glance down, witnessing why it jammed. My barrel didn't fully extract that time. You'll want to be a little slower about it in the future when you retract your gun, or else you'll have to start using gun oil on your hinges and barrel to prevent lockups during future transitions. I tisk, jumping back from the path of the robots, turning around and sprinting back the way I came. But I can't make the jump to get back atop the rooftop I came from before. So I come to a stop at the edge and TSK again, spinning around, prepared to fist fight robots of all things. I'm sure that'll work. Sarcasm retracting my goo, metal squeak and grind. My gun barrel can't retract now. It's stuck at half extended. I can't free up my right arm. I distract myself for a moment, looking down over my seized up right arm, the hinges and joints. I'd never had this problem in the past, because up until last year, the quirk would vanish after 24 hours. And when I reactivated it, it would come back in peak condition. I didn't have to maintain my hinges and weapon joints. But now, this quirk has unexplainably became my own. It's permanently with me. I forgot what Mom had said back then, and for the last year and a half, I haven't used any gun oil on my hinges and gun breech. A robot fist raced across my face, making me stumble. I almost fell off the rooftop because of it. Having lost footing, I swiftly recover and rotate around it into the path of the second. I duck, spinning as I dive between the two, sliding atop one knee past them center of the rooftop. I look around at the environment. What can I use to help me here? As they spin around, 1 2-point and 1 3-point land on the roof, one behind, one to my left. I widen my eyes, looking to the left, then over my shoulder. Not good. I think, starting to get overwhelmed. The 1-point bot's charging me, distracted with the one behind me. I almost get caught off guard again. I narrowly get my head in the game in time. I lunge off my knee atop my feet, raising my fist as they arrive, swinging a punch with all my strength into the first, aiming for the single camera /eye sensor on its forehead. If I can blind it, if I could just blind them, gut checking me as I punched it. My eyes widen and flicker white and purple repeatedly as I barf out spit and growl through the pain, landing a nasty jab into the glass camera sensor, shattering the glass. It raised its other arm to swing again as the second 1-point arrived. I duck low, really low, grabbing its arm that was in my gut, dragging it as I moved around it, spinning it around, causing it to accidentally punch its fellow 1 point. I release as I spun around, crashing atop both knees in a reverse slide, reaching down and hugging my stomach. That hurt like hell, pucking out my lunch in the moment of rest. It accidentally destroys the eye sensor of its fellow 1 point. Both are blind now. I finish pucking and finish my coughing fit as the 2 point and 3 points charged at me. I struggle off my knees, reaching up in front of my folded back arm, ejecting a shell out my folded back right arm and palm, gripping the epoxy bullet tight by the blunt end as I launch off my best foot forward at the robots. The 2 point robots swing at me. Last second, I dive out the way in a roll, the robot skids, stopping and rocketing after me. As I pass between the wandering blind 1 points, I shout, alerting them that I was between them while tossing the bullet at one, causing it to tink off it, making it think I just punched it. Over here, they spin swiftly and try to punch what they thought was me between them. But by then I'm long gone. Instead, the 2 point was there, together, punching in the face from 2 directions, destroying the 2 point's face, destroying the robot. The 3 point, and I meet a quarter the way to the edge. It doesn't act the same as the others, it's smarter. As I move to change directions, it does too. It meets me, forcing me to meet it. I narrow my eyes and raise a fist as it did the same, punching into its fist and instantly losing that clash. My arm buckled back from the force. It couldn't compete. I dart my gaze over at my arm as I watch my arm buckle, press back as though it wasn't even there, instantly having my shoulder knocked out of socket as I'm tossed back, sliding atop the ground, tumbling and rolling to a stop back, first against a roof-mounted AC unit. I look out to see it charging at me, not intending to give any time to recover. Struggling off the ground, using a gun barrel to stand, I jump back atop the AC unit, then jump off it, flipping over top it as I shouted again. Can't get me, stupid 1 pointers. I taunted. The blind robots, not a few feet away, turned and moved in on where they'd heard my voice, swinging and attacking the turning away 3 pointer that didn't suspect it because its programming didn't incite such a complicated method of combat on my part. Swiftly denting and breaking pieces and parts of the robot. The 3 point turns and effortlessly swung its arm around, knocking the heads off the robots in question, destroying them. I trip and fall on an imperfection in my landing back pedal, back against another AC unit. I'd used all I could. Now what do? The robot, damaged but still in the fight, turns to me and begins walking me down. I struggle my gun arm up and grit my teeth, hearing Mom in the moment when I was 8, when I jammed because I created a bullet too big to fire. Don't try to forcefully fire when you're jammed. Eject whatever shell jammed and try another. If it jams again, don't fire. Let me or a gunsmith check it out. Don't force a shell out or you might blow apart your barrel. Trust me, I've done it before. Not something you want to experience. I don't care the consequences. Fire, damn it. I boom inside my head, rapidly trying to fire my gun, but to no avail. Click, 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 see it. I express a look of puzzlement, not recognizing that sound. It sounded like something inside my gun just broke loose. I glance over at my arm as the robot arrived. Uncommanded, it in the moment it backfires. A bullet still flies out the barrel, racing out and piercing the head of the robot, but destroying the length of my gun arm from breech to barrel. The end of my barrel banana peels outwards in different directions. In the moment, my eyes snap white almost without color, matching the whites of my eyes as I leant back. I fall over atop my right side, unable to even reach or grab at my arm with my left arm dislocated, trying and submitting to the excruciating pain of having the insides of my gun blow apart, which all worked like muscles and nerve tissues, just made of different materials, of course, meaning when they are damaged or bruised, I feel it. It felt as though 1,000 men had grabbed the insides of my arm and started ripping the inside flesh away from me in the moment, and the pain lingered on. Roaring, screaming at the heavens to the unfathomable pain I just subjected myself to, willingly. Good day away that hurt. Fuck, I growl, rolling over atop my stomach and lifting a section of my body by just tilting my head forwards, using my forehead to do so as I continued seething and mauling in pain, panting hard as the pain subsides and only lingers at a quarter of the strength, of which it felt like initially. 2 minutes remaining. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Some of you are falling behind now. The announcer cheered us on, alerting us to how much time remained. In that moment, the ground began to rumble and rock, staring into the floor as a giant robot, the size of a bill, no, towers emerged on my hard right, 1 block over from me, dangerously close by. I don't look towards it. I hear the shouts and screams of terrified, confused, and panicking contestants. The robot destroyed an entire city block in an instant. I slowly get my breathing under control and try to retract my arm. It works this time, having broken most of the gun part that was jamming and not sliding back in the first place. I bring myself off the floor, reaching over as I began walking towards a fire escape on the far end of the rooftop, resetting and putting my arm back in a socket. I grunt out in pain as I relocated. I muttered to myself, "D-damn, that hurt," as I walked down the fire exit, out the building into the street, and begin traveling towards the chaos and the massive robot. Rather than running, there isn't a doubt in my mind that someone's gotten hurt or trapped in the rubble and chaos of that robot's appearance. I won't get any points for helping people or freeing them, but I sure as hell ain't getting any more combat points either. So I got to do something. I can't just sit and twiddle my thumbs.